What's up, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome to another Tasha's Topics, better known as the Lunchtime Language, where we talk about hot topics that I have chosen to discuss. Thank you all for joining me. If you have not done so already, go ahead and like this video, comment in the comment section, and most importantly, subscribe to the Redefine Me channel because we have a good great time over here. Okay, let us get into the getting into of the topics. I'm gonna give YouTube a few minutes. I miss y'all so much. It feels like I have not been on here for a minute, but I went out of town this past weekend to celebrate my daughter's 21st birthday. Yay! She is into adulthood, and I wanted to be there to celebrate with her. And so that's where I was. Normally, I come out on Sunday and I do a story time, and I did not keep in account that I was going to be out of town. So I was supposed to give y'all a story time. However, I am going to give you all a story time coming up. Okay. Again, if my mouth is moving choppy, that is because I don't know why. I think I'm delayed or something's going on, but my Wi-Fi is up where it needs to be. So I don't know what's going on. Let me just make sure. Yes, it's connected and it's good. So I don't know. I'm gonna give y'all a few more minutes to get in the room, invite your friends, share this video, go ahead and join me. I'm a little later than normal. And that's because I had a busy morning too. Y'all know I work overnight. And so by the time I hit the bed to go to sleep, it was probably like 12:30, maybe 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock. So I was like, but I gotta push myself because I gotta give y'all the topics. I need to talk to y'all about some things. Y'all need to see my face, and so I'm here. All right, y'all. So we about to get started on the topics. Now I'm gonna have to hold on, y'all. I'm gonna have to add some. Okay, I'm gonna have to add some photos as I go because StreamYard only let me put up 10 photos at a time. So I'm going to definitely add on some photos as I go. So let me get my notes up. Let me get my notes up, my notes up that I need. And y'all, my phone look like it's about to die, but it's all good. It's all good. All right. Let's get into the things of the things. Let's get into the things of the things. All right, y'all. Let's get into these topics. So, first one up, I'm going to drop my music down just a little. Hold on, y'all. First topic up, I'm going to bring the picture up. What happened? Okay. StreamYard moving stuff around on the screen. Wow. They be glitching. Hold on, y'all. It's going on. Okay. Yeah, act like. Alright, y'all. So, first picture, first topic up. Let me add her to the stage. Alright, y'all. So, if y'all have not heard, this lady on the screen, alright, and she's holding a black baby. We can see from the arm, but I'm glad that they blurred out the baby face. Yeah. Yeah, this lady right here. Now, I'm going to read y'all what happened to her. So it says, white American woman. Her name is Krishina Murray. I guess that's her name. I could be saying her name totally wrong. But she has sued an IVF clinic, a coastal fertility specialist, after giving birth to a black baby in an IVF mix up. Yeah. Yeah. Could you imagine in the hospital, you giving birth, or you're excited, you went through an IVF treatment. Now, if you know, IVF is an expensive procedure, number one. It is mainly for women who is having trouble conceiving. They turn to an IVF option, and you have went through the treatments, you paid the money, you went through all of the emotional ups and downs of it, things of that nature, and then you go through your whole term of pregnancy thinking that you have sperm from your partner who is Caucasian, and then you turn around and give birth, and it's a black baby. Okay, so check this out. It says the woman gave birth in 2023 and quickly noticed her baby's skin tone was much darker than hers. Despite having used a white sperm donor, Murray still loved and raised the baby for several months until the biological parents were granted custody. Yeah. Is this not wild, or is this not wild? I could not imagine. I could not imagine going through this process, then giving birth, and it's a white child, right? I would be looking like, what in the world? Now, y'all, we all know when babies are born, they don't right away get their color. You can tell that they are of a different race by their ears. If you look at their ears, and if y'all hear me sucking anything, I got a cough drop in. You can tell by their ears that they are very much going to be one shade or the other, right? And so this lady was probably in shock, right? However, she went ahead and she raised the child for a couple of months as her own. And I'm just like, she's a strong one, because I would have lost all my marbles. Like, seriously, all of my marbles. But the biological parents, it was a mix up. Some other couple that was black did an IVF treatment as well. How do you mix up the sperm? And it's crazy because me and my husband possibly considered IVF for a little bit. We little bit considered it, but of course it is an expensive process. It is an emotional and probably a process that takes a woman's body through a lot of ups and downs. And so we just decided to trust God on our journey. And that's what we're going to do. But this right here story was very wild and very, I imagine this lady is emotional. So at this point, she had to give the baby to the biological parents. So she doesn't have a baby. But what's crazy is that her egg was used to create the baby, because you have her egg and the sperm connected to the egg to make the baby. So it's kind of like it is partly her child as well. So this other couple, just because they're black and the baby's black, now you go and give this baby to the black couple, and now she has no baby. Could you imagine? What if she was an older woman? This was like her last hurrah. Maybe she only had a few eggs left or what have you. This is sad for real for her. And I pray that God repays to her double for her trouble. That she ends up getting pregnant, and that she ends up not only getting pregnant with one baby, but get two babies, because this was ridiculous. And she deserves to sue this clinic, because I would have sued the mess out of them too. Let's move on to the next story, y'all, because that had me like, you gotta be kidding. You have to be kidding me. Let me get into the next picture, y'all. All right, next story up is going to be this couple right here. Hold on. Is the picture coming up? All right, this couple right here. So when we look at this couple, we're looking at an elderly couple, right? And we're looking at a couple, and y'all probably like, what did they possibly do? Because they look like they taking a mug shot, right? So I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what this couple did, right? All right. So this is couple is in Gwinnett County. Okay. This is 87 and 89-year old arrested for $1 million in identity theft scheme. Guess you could say they're seasoned scammers. Okay, whoever wrote that tried to make a joke, but it didn't land. So it says an 87-year-old Snellville woman and her husband are accused of swiping over 1 million in pension payments, pretending to be her deceased mother for over a decade. Police say Mary Ann and Ernest, and I think their name is Artsnix. I'm probably saying the name totally wrong, wiped up whipped up fake documents to keep the payments coming after her mom died in 2010. Now, I felt two ways about this. Of course, we over here, Redefine Me, do not condone committing crimes. We don't condone that. However, look at these people. Look at these people. 87 and 89, child, they got what, an hour left of life? And no shade to my older community. I'm just saying, what y'all should have just been like, listen, don't let stop doing this, or take the documents, or do whatever you have to do. And then you have to think to yourself how expensive and hard it must be out here in life for these people to have to set up a scam and to keep the payments coming for her mom. Because I'm pretty sure they probably get Social Security and on top of the mom's payments. So they probably have all of that going on. They probably getting some money, but it's not enough for them to live, right? And so they had to go and they had to conjure up this scam. 87 and 89. First of all, let me just say this. Hats off to them, because y'all know how to get the fake documents and stuff together and all of this stuff, because most people, shoot, at 60 years old, don't know how to figure out the phones, the documents, the this and that. And these people went ahead and said, y'all got us messed up. We know how to make these documents and make it stick and get away with a scam that they've been doing since 2010. It's 2025, and they are just getting caught in doing this. I feel bad for our elderly these days, because it's hard. It's hard out here for millennials and Gen Zs and all the younger people. So I can imagine how hard it is for them to try to maintain living, prescription costs of food and things like that. And even with them, most of them have to take these medications and things like that that are costing them. And I kind of feel bad for this situation. Like, I really do feel bad for them. If I was the authorities, I would just take their fake documents, shut down the scheme, maybe give them like 30 days in jail or something like that. But I would let these people go, because I'm not saying just because you're older, you're supposed to get away with crimes, right? If you do the crime, you got to do the time. But baby, $1 million in identity. So what are y'all going to do? Even if y'all gave them life, they're 87 and 89 years old. Now, I'm not saying that older people, because older people are living longer these days anyway. There are people that's living into their 90s, okay? But let's just keep it 100. The older you get, the more likely that it is that you're about to go on to glory. You know, that's the realization of it. Even though there are younger people who are dying just as well as older people, right? But I just felt really bad for this story. And if I look to the side, y'all, I have my phone propped up. I have a phone holder now where I can kind of see my stories, so I don't have to really write a whole lot. So that's why I'm looking to the side. But I feel sorry for these people, and this story was really, really a mess. And yeah, let's get on to the next story. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and add why I got them on here. Give me 1 second, because I was adding on some images, but StreamYard only lets you add up to 10 images, and that is not who I wanted to add on here. We're going to get to that a little later. All right, so let's get to the next story, y'all. This one right here had me scratching my head. why you have to be careful in who it is that you lay down with, who it is that you have a baby with. And you would think that these celebrities would know better at this point. So as y'all know, that's Marlon Wayans on the screen, right? This is his child's mother. Her name is, hold on, let me get her name. I don't know her name, but whatever. It's one of his children's mother, right? So this is the thing. She says that she is struggling to provide for their 1-year-old daughter. Now get this, y'all. He pays her $18,000 a month in child support payments, and she went and filed a lawsuit to get more money. Now this, I was about to call her something else. She's sitting up and talking about she's struggling, and he is paying her $18,000. $18,000 in child support, and she up here talking about she's struggling and taking him to court for more money. Girl, if you don't go somewhere and sit down, there are women out here who are not even getting $180 a month, and you are getting $18,000 and talking about you struggling with a 1-year old. First of all, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to achieve, ma'am? A 1-year old, excuse me, child is not about to be running you up no major debt, no major bill. But see, that's what happens when you get with certain people, these celebrities, because they know that they kind of got the money. So now the woman will try to milk them for everything that they got. And you would think at this point that these celebrities would make some type of something, some clause or something. If you get pregnant, make sure they sign some documents and say this is how much you're going to get, and get it, notarized and get in front of a lawyer and all this stuff like that. And make sure that they know that you cannot come back and say, oh, you want this or want that in the future. This is how much you're going to get, and that's how much it's going to be. But for some reason, they are still out here in these streets, these celebrities just up here allowing these people to milk them for their money. And then y'all want us to feel sorry for y'all, because I don't. I honestly don't. Because you should know better. Like at this point, you should really know better. Seriously, Marlon, get it together, sir. What is your problem? That's not the next person we're going to talk about, but I'm adding images as I go because, what is it? Whatchamacallit? StreamYard only allows you to add 10 at a time, so I have to delete some and I have to add what I can add. So give me 1 second. And I hate the fact when I'm adding it, they're popping it up on the screen because that's not the next story I want to talk about. All right, y'all, next story up. Y'all already know, rest in peace to Miss Angie Stone. I did a short on her passing, and this was just such a tragedy. So if you all don't know, on Saturday, I think it was Saturday, she was on her way back from Alabama, and she was in her, I guess, tour bus or van. She was with other people in there, and this is what makes this story very interesting because she is the only one that lost her life that was in the van. So it was hit by an 18-wheeler as they were coming back from Alabama, and unfortunately, she died instantly. Just tragic because she was 63 years old, and it just shocked the whole community, her fans, the world, kind of, because she's known for her music, for her soulful music. I think one of my favorite songs of her is when she takes her hat off and she gives all these accolades to our black men. And y'all know that song, Black Brother, Fine Brother. I don't know the title of it, but I know the song when I hear it. I love it. And so I don't listen to her music on a regular basis, but I have heard several of her songs. And so she will be missed by her family and friends. And it's just a really, really sad story. So we're saying rest in peace to Miss Angie Stone. It's just sad. It's really, really sad. To just know that you're here 1 minute and gone the next. And there was a lot of celebrities that shared stories about her. A lot of people came out and said they had just spoke to her the day before, things like that. And I know how they feel because when my grandmother passed, I remember hearing her on the phone with my mom on Tuesday. And if I could get that time back, I would have got on the phone with her after my mom, because that Tuesday my mom was talking to her, and I think my grandmother had passed within that week, and so, or a couple of days later, and I never got to really speak to her for the last time. I never really got to get that moment. So from this situation, if anything, we need to learn we need to learn to cherish the time with our loved ones and make sure that we are really soaking up all of the time, having conversations, forgiving one another, loving on one another, because you just never know when your time is going to be done. You just never know. And so this was really sad news for us to hear. But rest in peace, Miss Angie Stone. And we're going to get on to the next topic. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Let me add the topic. Thank y'all for joining me. Replay watchers, live watchers, go ahead and hit that like button and hit the subscribe. Subscribe. Hold on, y'all. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. Go ahead and hit that like button if you are joining the live. All right, so let's get into this foolery. Now, first of all, Jay-Z to me seems to look like the camel dude off the cigarette box more and more every time I see him, right? So remember the story, right? I brought it to y'all on some hot topics a couple of maybe weeks ago. This young woman came out and said that Jay-Z has sexually assaulted her at 13 years old. Now, because of the highlight of all the Diddy stuff, anybody to come out with any accusations against these stars have to be taken seriously. And even if Diddy wasn't a factor, anybody that comes out with anything on these celebrities, they need to kind of look into it and investigate it, but not the almighty Jay-Z. And I say that very loosely because the only almighty is Jesus Christ. However, him and Beyonce feel like they are in the upper echelons of people that cannot be touched and that their stuff don't stink, right? And so this is what happened. It says woman accused Jay-Z of sexual assault and has dropped her lawsuit against him. Hold on. She claims she's terrified of him. Even though she dropped it, she still claims she's terrified of him, right? So this is what happened more into detail. The woman who accused Jay-Z of sexual assault at the age of 13 and has voluntarily admitted that Tony Busby pushed her towards going forward with the false story against Mr. Carter, is sticking to her original claims. Jane Doe says the mogul is allegedly intimidating and terrifying her. Now, they're trying to paint this picture that this lawyer, Tony Busby, is trying to bring Jay-Z down with this whole story, that he is pushing this story, that she is, lying, and now they're saying she's lying about it, that Busby made up this story. My whole thing is, what does Busby have to gain? I mean, outside of course, getting paid if this lawsuit wins. But why would he just pick him out of anybody? He could have picked anybody else too to do it. I feel like there is some truth to this story. If it didn't go down the way that she stated, now this was, she claims at 13 years old, and this is all allegedly. She claims at 13 years old, this woman is probably 30s, maybe 40 at this point. I don't know. But some things can get fuzzy from the past that you may not remember. So I'm not going to just say that this did not happen to her. It also goes on to say court documents claim Jay tries to bully Doe into saying her accusations are bogus. In addition, she claims she was recently approached outside her home and cornered by two people who told her they were investigators working for one of Jay's lawyers. Doe also claims that the people tried to get her to sign an affidavit stating that her sexual assault claims against Jay were false. However, she refused. Reports add the woman also claims the alleged investigators asked if Busby sought her out as a client and offered her money to pursue false claims against the rap mogul. Doe denied both allegations. The woman says the alleged confrontation left her intimidated and terrified. Doe claimed her parents were also approached two investigators asking similar questions about Busby and the alleged sexual assault. So, with all that being said, listen, I don't put nothing past these people. I wasn't there. The only one that knows if he did it is God, him, and this girl. Okay. So she's sticking to her story of saying yes, it did happen, but she's dropping it because she's claiming that she's scared and he has sent people to her parents, and I do not put it past them. I don't put it past them to have done something like this. So we'll see. We shall see. I do not know what's going to happen. If I was her, I would put my foot on the gas on the case. Now I'm not her, right? So I don't know how she would feel. However, these celebrities should not be able to get away with doing whatever they want to do. They have to pay the price when they're doing stuff that is not right. And some people may say, well, why did it take her so long? Now all of a sudden she came for blah, blah. Listen, who knows why it takes people so long? Maybe she felt like, okay, Diddy's people have come forward. Now I feel safe to be able to come forward and actually say something about this. So we don't know why it took her so long to come forward, but the um the thing is that she came forward, okay, and we ought to not always blame the individual that has decided to come forward. We should believe what they say um until proven otherwise, and that's all you can do. All right, so let's move on to the next story. This is not the next story, but she falls in line with the next story. Let me make sure I have. I hate that they only allow you to do 10 images at a time. So let's talk about this. These celebrities, they out here just being naked. Just being naked. And I'm going to show y'all several of them who are out here just being naked. Okay. For the life of me, I do not understand. So this is Meg Thee Stallion. If y'all don't know who she is a rapper that came out big and does a lot of raunchy music. Okay. Some of her songs are a bop. I ain't gonna lie. I've heard some. I may have shook a leg for 2 seconds on a song or two. However, she is out here with her boobies out. Okay. She's at the Vanity Fair show or whatever they had recently. And look at this dress that she has on. Now, Meg Thee Stallion is a very beautiful woman. I would not take that from her at all. I actually loved the green. I loved the feathers. But when it got up, girl, why are your boobies out? Okay. And she thinks because she put a pasty on the boobies that that was okay. Child, your boob is out. Okay. And she even made a comment because they were getting pictures of her and she was like, my boobies are out. Yes, your boobies are out. Did you not know that they were when you put this dress on? You knew exactly what was going on. She looks kind of uncomfortable because I feel that some of these celebrities are told to push the envelope in fashion, right? I think some of them sometimes do not want to really do a lot of the things that they're doing. However, they are pushed a lot when it comes to being a celebrity. And so they have to do certain things because they feel like, okay, I have to be talked about, I have to be a trendsetter, whatever it is. However, Meg, you are a beautiful woman. If I would have done this dress, how come you couldn't take the green all the way up to like maybe do a V-neck in the boobie area and then have those feathers sprouting out? You would have looked just as beautiful. Why did you have to go here? Here's another photo of her closer up. And I got this from Shade Room. So if y'all see their little trademark right there. But here's another photo close up. I mean, her hair is beautiful. She looks nice. I like the makeup. It's not too much. I like the whole feathers and the green and everything. But the boobs, you can see the nipple right there. You might as well just rip the pasty off because that's what's coming next with these people. I feel like the next move is going to be that they're just going to rip the pasty off and just let the boob hang out. But isn't this indecent exposure? Like, isn't there a law that has indecent exposure attached to it? How is it that you are able to come out and your boobs are out? I don't understand that. And not only that, these celebrities need to understand that you're setting an example for those who listen to your music and the younger generation. And it got a lot of spark from some comments and everything. People have been talking about this on social media. And yeah, you're setting an example. Girls look up to you. What if prom season is here? And what if somebody's saying, oh my God, I want to do a replica of the Meg the Stallion dress? And they feel like they want to go all in with it and do the pasties and everything. Now, if I was a parent and my daughter came to me and said, I want to do a replica of this dress, I would be like, girl, listen, if you want to do that, your boobs are not going to be hanging out with no pasties on it. Now, we ain't doing that. However, you have some parents that will agree to go ahead and let their children go this far. But Sherry Shepherd said such a good point because she came out with a video and she put on her auntie Sherry hat. And she said, you know, you all have bodyguards and protectors. The ones that are looking up to you that may want to mimic your style and put their body on out there, they don't have protectors and bodyguards and things like that to be with them. And then something goes down of a SA nature against these people that look up to you all. Now we got a problem, right? And I agree with what Sherry Shepherd said. So let me show y'all some of the other people over the past years that have also did the pasties movement, right? So let's get to it. We all remember this one. Little Kim, 1999 MTV Music Video Awards. I think she was the first one that did it. I don't think nobody else before her did it before 99. Now, Little Kim, she had that at that time. She was doing stuff like that. Like she was, you know, doing all type of raunchy outfits and wearing the color wigs and different things like that. Like that's kind of what she was doing at the time. At the time, it was a shock factor, and she, you know, she just got her whole thing out. But still, it was a mess. Like at this point, this is how you knew it was leading into a lot of sexualizing and a lot of nakedness and everything moving into this generation. Then we get over to this one. 2015, Miley Cyrus. She goes on Jimmy Kimmel. Now, it's a talk show, a man's talk show. Now, she looks a whole hot mess, right? She goes on Jimmy Kimmel and she got hearts on her boobies. Now, her boobies are not, you know, they probably negative A cups, but nevertheless, they're out. They're leave something to the imagination, people. What are we doing? Then we go on the next one. We had Nicki Minaj, Title X event, 2016. She's all the way naked, right? She got on underwear, some pasties, is see-through, you know, and for people who feel like they got it flaunted, don't be a hater type thing. It's not being a hater, right? Some things we just have to call out and we can't condone. And it's a large amount of nakedness within this generation, and I'm showing you the former generations, how they push the envelope. And you have people that look up to you, and it's not okay. Someone has to stand up and be like, look, this is not okay. Y'all doing too much. Because you can look just as good without having to parade yourself all over social media. Here's another one, Corey LeRae, New York Fashion Week 2021. She looks, look at this, just horrible looking. Then we have Beyonce in 2023. Now, you're too old for this. What were you, 40 years old at this point? Got your boobies hanging out, you know, but again, this is what they're telling the world that is okay. It's okay for you to dress half naked. It's okay for you to, you know, put it out there. We got Rihanna at 2014. some gala, Amphar Inspiration Gala. I don't know what that is. Again, these are all beautiful women, but why do you have to put your bodies out there? She don't even look happy. She looks sad. She got the pasties up here. And again, this dress probably could have been better if she would have covered it up and did like a V-neck or something. Maybe put some purple detail on it some type of way. I don't know. But it didn't have to go this far. Who else I got up here? We got Tiana Taylor. She was at the Vanity Fair 2023. Again, boobies out. And most of these women are mothers, right? What example are you setting for your daughters, right? Just boobies out. And honestly, the outfit to me, it doesn't do justice for her body. I feel like Tiana Taylor has a beautiful shape, beautiful body, and she could have done better than this. And the last one was just tragic, y'all. Summer Walker. Summer Walker looked like she looked horrible. This was the worst one of them all because really, she don't have no clothes on. She has a flabby, muscular stomach going on here. The boobs obviously are fake, the way that they're just sitting out like boing type situation. She has the pasties on there. I mean, horrible. Just horrible. She looks like she's from some type of tribe or something. I just don't understand why in what world would she think that this was okay? Like what world? So, all that to say, it's been going on for years. And unfortunately, the world that we live in is not going to stop. It's not going to stop. It really isn't. So, all we can do is try to protect our youth, our children from that type of influence if we can. Let's move on to the next story, y'all, because I talked about nakedness for way too long. Let's move on to the next story. This one was sad, a tragedy in South Carolina. Now, I didn't even know that this was happening in South Carolina, honestly. Let's get into the story. It says South Carolina governor declares state of emergency after wildfires. Okay, so let's get into this story. It says Henry McMaster declared a state of emergency on Sunday as wildfires across the Carolinas and Georgia scorched thousands of acres, forcing residents to evacuate their homes. Earlier in the day, the governor's office reported more than 175 active fires in South Carolina. NBC reports this state of emergency ensures that our first responders who are working tirelessly and risking their lives to protect our communities from these wildfires have the resources they need, McMaster said. At last, check the number of fires had decreased to 163 with over 5,400 acres burned, according to South Carolina Forestry Commission. The Red Cross of South Carolina said about 135 Carolina forest fire residents were sheltering at a county recreation center, while Carolina Forest Community Church provided a rest area for firefighters and some evacuees. No structures have been damaged and no injuries have been reported. So if we have to thank God for something, just thank God that no one lost their life. No, like they said, no structures have been damaged, and that these people are having to battle and deal with this, but there were no lives lost. And I didn't even know that North Carolina was dealing with wildfires to this degree, right? I had no idea. And so I am thankful that nobody lost their life and that the firefighters had everything that they needed in order to be able to handle this type of situation. So praying for the people there that they can rebuild and move on in the way that they need to. All right, y'all, let's talk about this next story. Elon Musk is creepy, creepy, creepy. He's a creepy little thing. And when you look at him, somebody said that he is on the spectrum. I kind of believe it. So let's talk about him. Elon Musk welcomes his 14th child. Okay, this is his fourth baby mom, I think, with what's her Shavana Zillis, 14th child. You know, Papa is a rolling stone. Wherever he lays his head is his home, and that's what he's doing. But he feels like, oh, if I got the money to take care of the child, then it's okay. It isn't, sir. It isn't. This is your 14th child. And hold on, let me see. No, they have four children together, but this is his 14th child. And I'm just like, just because you have the money, kids need more than money. Same thing I would say for Nick Cannon. Same thing I'm gonna say for him. Kids need your time. Kids need you to invest in them. Kids need to for you to give them a moral compass, for you to really just love on them, give them that love and everything. Just because you have money, sir, doesn't mean you just go drop your seed wherever you want. Make an honest woman out of one of these women that you got children with. You got four with her. When are you going to settle down? And he's probably afraid to, because if you're the richest man in the world, okay, you at this point don't know who's for you, who's against you, who just loving you for the money or what. But it's really ridiculous, sir. Put a cap on it. 14 children. Now, the Bible does say be fruitful and multiply, but it does not say be a whore and go around and drop your seed to all these different women that none of which you're married to, and you're leaving broken homes. Same thing that Nick Cannon is doing. They're leaving broken homes all across wherever these kids are at. Broken. Because you do not have the manpower to be everywhere at one time with these children. And children need more than just money. Ugh, he is exhausting for so many reasons. And I just cannot believe that he has a 14 child. But it is what it is. That's what people do. They have this money. They think that money solves everything, and they go on and they have these children, and they don't realize that these children need more than just your money. They need more than just your money, sir. So anyway, let's get on to the next story, because there ain't nothing really going on with Elon except for the fact that he's spreading his seed, dropping it wide, busting it low. If he was a woman, they'd be out here calling her a whore and all type of names and all of this. Well, I'm also call the man that too, because you can't just be out here throwing your seed around. It's funny because we had this conversation sidebar, me and my husband, and he talks about his uncle from time to time that he had a lot of different kids by different women, but he took care of all of his kids. And my husband says it like, okay, like it's nothing wrong with it. But my rebuttal is always that if the woman is a whore for doing it, the man is a whore for doing it too. It doesn't matter about if it's a man or a woman. You are doing something that is very heinous, that is diabolical, that is not something that God will want you to do. So it's horrible. But they feel that because, excuse me, everybody, they feel because men are the seed givers and women are the receivers, then that makes them more of a whore. And sorry for keep saying that, but they make them more of that because they're a woman. They're not supposed to be receiving seed from all these different people and stuff. But sir, you're not supposed to be dropping seed everywhere either. So anyway, y'all, next topic of Ja Rule. Ja Rule, happy birthday goes out to Ja Rule. He is turning 49 years old. His birthday was 5 days ago, and he's actually a leap year baby like my daughter. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know Ja Rule was a leap year, but he turned 49 years old. Happy birthday goes out to Ja Rule. He is a rapper, if y'all do not know. He was under the label Murder Inc. He did a lot of songs that, you know, we know. Honestly, I think he has a rapper's voice, but I think he tried to hum a tune and do a melody before. And I was like, Ja Rule, no, you don't need to do no songs. He was in like one of the Fast and Furious or whatever it was, but he definitely has a voice that stands out. Like if you close your eyes and he walked in the room and started talking, you'd be like, is that Ja Rule? So him, like DMX and some of these other artists, had these distinctions in their voices that you could just pick up if you were blindfolded. But anyway, happy birthday goes out to Ja Rule. Let's move on to the next person. This young man, this story is really, really sad, y'all. And y'all have probably heard about it at this point. Um, let me let me get to the story. This story is really sad, y'all. Dang, I didn't upload this other thing that I want to upload. But anyway, let's get into it. So y'all know the young man on the screen. He went to Southern University. He passed away after reportedly participating in an off-campus fraternity ritual. Okay, so the story is an investigation has been launched after officials say that 20-year-old Southern University student Caleb Wilson passed away after reportedly participating in an off-campus fraternity ritual. According to WAFB, I guess that's the news source. A source claims that the members of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity were reportedly carrying out a ritual in which pledges stood in line. Wilson collapsed and was unresponsive when friends brought him to Baton Rouge General Hospital on Thursday, February 27th. So he was pledging Omega Psi Phi and he passed out while they were in line. Now, I don't know if because when some of these fraternities, when they doing these pledges and stuff, and I really thought the hazing thing was over with these fraternities and sororities, but apparently not. And so when he passed out, he might have fell out because, and they might have thought, oh, he can't cut it, get up, whatever, whatever, and not took his injury seriously, right? Until maybe he wasn't getting up, and then they kind of took him to the hospital. But it's just sad. 20 years old, he hasn't even began to live his life. Okay. It goes on to say he was announced deceased by staff, and the Baton Rouge police was called at 3:15 a.m. Now they were out there at 3 o'clock in the morning, probably 2:30 in the morning, doing some type of ritual. What kind of hazing or ritual or whatever is going down at 2:30 in the morning? I don't, and this is why when I was considering college and things like that, I always said, it sounds exciting to be in a fraternity, right? But at the end of the day, I was just like, I can't, because when I was coming along in college, we would hear about all these different hazing things and stuff that people would have to do and all of that. And I was just like, I'm not about to be sitting up here getting hazed and going through all of this stuff and letting it beat me and do all type of crazy things. Like I was more afraid of that part than being a part of a fraternity. So I just knew I just wouldn't have made it, and I wasn't going to be a part of anything like that. Okay. It goes on to say an autopsy is being performed to determine his exact cause of death. Investigators say the group had been at North Shorewood Forest Community Park prior to bringing Wilson to the hospital. So whatever they was doing in that park out there caused him to pass out. Now, some people may say, well, how do we know he did not have pre-existing health conditions? And I think that the fraternity came out and said something like that. Like, how do we know it was because he was on our line, because we were doing what we were doing? How do we know he didn't have something else going on? They're trying to, of course, pass the blame off, saying that we're not the ones that did something, right? It goes on to also say the Southern University Division of Student Affairs released a statement announcing an infinite pause to all membership activities on campus, including fraternities, sororities, and student clubs. Now, because y'all wanted to go out here and do this hazing and do whatever y'all was doing, now y'all done paused everybody else's activities. Sororities, student clubs, and other fraternities. So they can't do no activities on this campus until this is found out, right? It goes on to say Southern University Marching Band also shared a post on social media tributing Wilson. he we are keeping Caleb Wilson's family lifted up in prayers due to this difficult time. So he was involved, I think, in some human beatboxing thing also on campus because a lot of the youth shared his human beatboxing skills and things like that. And they just said it's just sad. They said that the vibe doesn't even seem right on campus or none of that. And so, we're praying for the Caleb's family. This was really, really sad for real. It's unfortunate, and then as a parent, you send your kids to school and you do not send them to school to unfortunately have to deal with um hazing, or to possibly have their life cut short. And it's unfortunate that he had to go through something like this, and now his life is gone. And fraternities and sororities are just evil anyway. They're demonic. They have rituals and things that they do that is not pleasing. And if it was up to me, I would tell all college kids, just don't even get involved with it. Just don't get involved with it. But they paint this picture that, oh, it's a cool kids thing. It's so cool to be a part of a sorority or fraternity, like it's a cultural thing. This is something that you should want to get involved with because it's cool. This is like the cool kids club, and these kids go and they get involved in this mess, and they think that they're going to be set for life, like they're going to have all of the connections and different things like that. And so they go into it thinking that I'm going to be accepted, I'm going to be with the in crowd, I'm going to have excuse me, all of these different people in my corner, different things like that. And so, yeah, I mean, this was just really sad. Praying for Caleb's family for real, because this is just a tragedy. Okay. Let me go back over all of the stories that I have done real quick. Let me just remove some of these photos that I have. I just wish that they would let you do more than 10 at a time, but unfortunately they do not. So let me do that really quickly. Thank you for joining me. For those who have joined, if you love hearing about hot topics and things that are going on in the world, I don't cover everything that's going on, but if I find stories and things that are interesting, I do bring them to light, and I do cover the stories that I find. Okay, so let me get my images back that I did have. Now, there's another story that I wanted to talk about as well, but I do not have the image that I wanted, and I was just like, darn it, because this was a really good, heartwarming, heartfelt story, y'all. Hold on, y'all, one second. This was a really good, heartwarming, heartfelt story, y'all, about Dolly Parton. It wasn't good because of something happened to her family, but it was good in the sense that the longevity of it. Okay, so I don't have Dolly Parton's image up here. However, I'm going to read you the story. Now, Dolly Parton's husband passed away, and that is not, a good thing, of course. But the story was beautiful. I thought the story was beautiful. So they were married for 60 years. Okay, first of all, that right there deserves a round of applause, and it deserves hats off to them. 60 years, right? First of all, I didn't even know Dolly Parton was married, but they kept their relationship very private. And I love that, because sometimes celebrities get in these relationships and they get with these people, and as soon as they release who they with, now all the paparazzi and people talking about it and trumping up things and everything like that. And so Dolly Parton, her husband passed, nearly 60 years of marriage. His name was Carl Thomas Dean. They got married in 1966, and they were really spotted together, okay, because they committed to a privacy in their relationship, which I love. Carl inspired one of Dolly's biggest hits, Jolene. I need to find out what that's about. I've heard the song, but I haven't listened to the lyrics of it. And it says, let's keep the families in prayer. He died on March 3rd in Nashville at age 82. Like I told y'all, a lot of elderly today is living well into their 80s, some in their 90s, some even make it to 100. Um, it says he will be laid to rest in a private ceremony with immediate family attending. He was survived by his siblings Sandra and Donnie. Excuse me. She gave a beautiful little message. She says, Carl and I spent many wonderful years together. Words can't do justice to the love we shared for over 60 years. Thank you for your prayers and sympathy. The family has asked for privacy during this difficult time. And so I just want to say prayers to Dolly and the family. This was such a beautiful love story of 60 years, nearly 60 years of committing your life to one person, and her being a celebrity and we kind of never really saw him like that is also a testament of how they kept their lives very private and they did not want people all in their business, and I don't blame them. Okay, so let's go over these stories that I talked about today, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. So we talked about Meg the Stallion, her green dress outbreak at the outbreak at the Vanity Fair. I guess they had I don't know what they had, a magazine release party. I don't know. But anyway, at the Vanity Fair party, she wore this little number right here. We talk about them boobies that was just out, had the pasties on them. You can even see the areola, I mean, the nipple right here. And at this point, child, you might as well have just freaking just took the strip off and just let us all see what was going on. Tell me y'all thoughts on any of these topics, especially this one. I could not. I was just like, child, I would have never even considered it. I would have been too ashamed to consider that. But she went ahead and did it. We also talked about Elon Musk welcoming his 14th child and his fourth one with this lady. Stop dropping your seed, sir, all over these different households and leaving broken homes. Moving on, just weird little man. Ja Rule, happy birthday to Ja Rule. He is 49 years old. Y'all know he's a rapper with Murder Inc. Or was. I don't think he still is. But, you know, he was big back in the day. We also talked about this sad story with this young man, 20-year-old student Caleb Wilson, that lost his life at Southern University College. You know, he was pledging Omega Psi Phi, and unfortunately, he lost his life. And when I get more details about it, because they're doing an autopsy, so they're not sure. So when I get more details, I will let you all know. Young woman here, we talked about her suing the IVF clinic, Coastal Fertilities, because they had a mix up in the sperm, and now she gives birth to a black baby, and of course she is a white lady. They ended up having to take the baby and give it to the biological parents, but like I said, her egg was used and the black man's sperm was used, so she has just as much rights to the baby as the biological parents, because just because of skin color, y'all now want to take this baby and give it to these other people while she has no baby. Just sad. Next story we talked about this older couple here. They were scamming, y'all. They were using a scam to still secure her mother's disability check or whatever check, social security check. Her mother died back in 2010. They were finally caught. She's 87, he's 89. I feel like they should just, you know, take all these people paperwork, funds. The jig is up with them. Maybe give them 2 days in jail or something, but they owe. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying older people do not have to pay the do the time for the crime. I'm just saying, y'all, this is wild. Next story up, we talked about Marlon Williams, his baby mom right here, just annoying. Okay, she is up here talking about she wants to have more money. She's struggling. She said, I'm struggling out here. I'm getting $18,000 in child support and I'm struggling. Child, Seriously, I'm looking like Marlon. Seriously, $18,000, and you talking about you struggling? Girl, you don't even know what struggling is. And she gets this every month. I don't even think I could spend 18,000 in 1 month. Like, I pretty much know that I would be sitting on extra money at the end of the month. I cannot spend 18,000 in 1 month. But she talking about I'm struggling. Girl, if you don't go sit down, they got a 1-year-old child together and she wants to get more money for the child because she's talking about she's struggling. At this point, ma'am, we all see through the mess. You're just trying to secure your future. You're trying to do some business or investments or whatever you're trying to do. You're trying to live well. Girl, get out of here. Next thing we talked about was Angie Stone. Of course, we all know that she passed on Saturday. They haven't said when her funeral is yet, but she was in a car crash, very tragic. She lost her life instantly, and we are sending prayers up to the family. Rest in peace to Angie Stone. She was 63 years old. Next story we talked about was Jay-Z up here bullying and punking the woman who accused him, and this is allegedly, of SA back when she was 13 years old. She dropped the case, but she said only because she's scared and terrified because he has sent people to her parents and to her. So I'll keep y'all posted on what happens if anything else happens with that case. But like I said, I believe there is some truth to the Jay-Z lawsuit. People can say what they want. I believe there's some truth there. Okay. So anyway, y'all, that is the hot topics. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, I did miss one thing. We talked about, and I don't think I have it on the screen, but let me pull up the photo for y'all real quick. Hold on, y'all. Lastly, we talked about the fires in South Carolina. They had to battle some wildfires, y'all, and we only hear about the wildfires over in California, but California, the governor declared a state of emergency because they had to battle some wildfires that was going on. Thank God no one has lost their life or was injured, and no memorials or anything like that was damaged. So it may have just been strictly in a forest where no one was around and no figures were around or anything like that. Nevertheless, they still had to work to battle these fires so that they would not spread and do no major damage. And so we want to thank God that no one was injured, no one was killed, and that the fires have been contained somewhat. Okay. So that's all the hot topics I have for y'all this week. Thank y'all for joining me. For you all who joined me live, thank you so much. For you all who on the replay game, thank you so much. Make sure you go ahead and like this video. Comment in the comment section about any of the topics that I have discussed. What is your thoughts and feelings on those said topics? And we can have a chit chat about it. I will be live again. I'm trying to decide. I'm gonna be live again on Sunday, definitely, to give my actually Love After Lockup is coming back on, and I'm not sure exactly when. I think it's next week, but I'm going to be giving my story time on Sunday about the time I got robbed in New York. So if y'all want to hear about that, go ahead and check me out on Sunday. I'm thinking about coming out doing a breaking news story on tomorrow, and I'm gonna try to stick to my time of 6:30 and bring y'all this story that I found. I'm going to start doing that, finding cold case stories, breaking news stories that we're going to discuss and talk about. I'm working on doing, of course, my reaction videos. That's something that I want to do. So once I do nail down and how to do it, I definitely will let you all know and keep you all posted and abreast on that video. I feel that is so much better. I have the daggone screen like turned up. However, that is so much better. I should have been turned the screen down. That's crazy. But you learn something new every moment, every second of the day. But anyway, y'all, so let me get up off of here because y'all know I gotta go to work. Um, and I will see y'all again. Again, share this video, like it, comment, and subscribe to the Redefine Me family. I love y'all so much. I'll talk to y'all later.